Hey everybody, it's Philly Kuts. I'm going to do this one right off the cuff. I just got done watching the Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney 140-pound super lightweight title fight for the WBC title match that unfortunately Ryan Garcia, even though he wins this fight because he was 3.2 pounds overweight for the weigh-in, the title does not exchange hands, and that's kind of a travesty here in this case. But in some ways, Ryan is going to be propelling to higher ranks of stardom, and this is going to bring a lot more opportunities for Ryan. So what I got to say here is that this fight was exciting right from the get-go. So not to keep you guys waiting, and I'm sure you already know, Ryan Garcia wins the majority decision. Judges' scorecards, okay, which there's always one judge, okay? There's always one judge. But the scores were 112, 112, 114, 110 Garcia, 115, 109 Garcia. I'd probably be more in alignment with the 114, 110. I had them both winning probably an equal amount of rounds, 6 rounds. Maybe I would give Garcia 7. But the 3 knockdowns that Garcia got in rounds, what was it? Rounds 7, 10, and 11, that just put it over the top. And really, I almost thought that Garcia could have won this fight in the first round. He freaking landed a left hook within, I would say, about 30 seconds of this fight in the first round that completely stunned Haney, and I think it hurt him. At the end of the fight, Haney was saying that, it was more that he got stunned by this left hook, but in actuality, I think that he got really hurt. And it really changed, I think, Haney's whole approach to the fight. Now, the first half of the fight, okay, the first 6 rounds, I definitely gave Garcia round 1. And I probably gave Garcia round 2. And then the rest of those rounds I gave to Haney. It started to shape up and look like that Haney was settling into a good fight pattern. He was hitting some good jabs, but he was like devoid of any power punches in this fight, really. He did get a few good ones in the later rounds, mid-later rounds. He did hit Garcia, I think, with a good left hook that stunned Garcia a little bit, but it didn't do any significant damage. So it really looked like Haney was starting to settle into a good pattern where he was coming forward a lot, he was landing a lot of jabs, he was showing some good ring generalmanship, which means that he was kind of controlling the tempo of the fight, controlling where they were being positioned in the ring. He was starting to get Garcia on the ropes a little bit more. But then, again, in round 7, the first knockdown, Haney got clipped again. Not even clipped, but hit flush again with a good left hook that just rocked him. He hit him with, I believe, a left hook first that really got him, and then he got him with a right, and it sent freaking Haney to the canvas. And it was just crazy. It was just ridiculous. At one point, they started grappling up again after that, and stop it, Charlie. And Garcia hit Haney during a break, and he actually got deducted 1 point. So instead of winning that round in the 7th, 10-8, he ends up winning it, just 10-9 because of the point deduction. And then afterwards, after that, round 8, I probably could have given that maybe to Haney. But by round 9, I'll tell you, this was really a tale of 2 different fights. in terms of, styles, okay? Let me throw a stat out here for you. Through round 9 or through 8 rounds, Garcia hit 56, I believe 56 power punches to Haney's 24. So he had double the output of power punches by that round. On the flip side, Haney hit 35 jabs to Garcia's 6. So, I mean, I just don't think that was nearly enough, even up to that point for Haney. Because from that point on, round 10 and 11, Haney got rocked, okay? Haney went down again in round 10. Another left hook that really stunned him. And then again in round 11, he kept hitting him with a left hook. And he was also getting in some good combinations. And he just completely overpowered Haney. I mean, Haney was on rubber legs in these later rounds. And at some points in this fight, it almost should have been stopped, in my opinion. I was completely surprised by the performance of Garcia, who once, I would say once the fight before their fight, at about round 6 of the fight before their fight, they're showing Garcia getting ready in the dressing room, and Haney, of course. And Garcia's demeanor completely changed. He wasn't like fooling around anymore. It was like the business face came on, and he was ready to rock, man. I almost thought at some points he looked a little shook, like he looked a little nervous, but he really dialed in and focused, started to just get into the mind of, I'm ready to take care of business. And he really, truly did. In the fight interview before the walkout, Garcia was quoted as saying, I'm on a mission to assassinate him. He said as well, I'm going to kill this man if I have to. Again, I still think a little theatrical. I don't care what happens tonight. This is a fight I'm willing to die for. Really, just saying that he was ready to go, ready to freaking rock, man. And he came out in the walkout, and he was just strictly business. He looked very focused. No more theatrics, no more, craziness. I have to admit, I was thinking that this guy was maybe unmedicated bipolar or something, that he was maybe headed down the route of an Adrian Broner, where, that maybe these antics were going to start to take the best of him, and that he was really going to derail his career. But this guy put on a performance that was just excellent and exciting. And I'm going to make a confession. I really thought that Haney was going to win this fight. I thought that it was going to be exciting in the first, 1 or 2 rounds, and it certainly was. And then I thought Haney was going to settle in like he did, and it looked like he was going on that path. And I thought it was maybe going to go all the way to the end of the fight like it did, but it was going to be a much different story with Haney just, being more technically sound and out-punching him and outscoring him. And boy, was I wrong, man, because Garcia just brought the freaking heat, man. He brought the heat. This was like death by, 25, 30 left hooks that just really, he was head hunting, man. He was hitting that left hook over Haney's right consistently, very consistently. And Haney just, I think, was perplexed. He just could not handle it. And although Garcia was 2 inches taller than Haney had a 2-inch reach, but that reach advantage, and that didn't seem to matter. Garcia definitely, you could see the size difference, I thought. And hey, look, he was 3.2 pounds overweight, which he did pay a penalty for, not only monetarily. I guess he paid Haney $500,000 per pound he was overweight, but he also now didn't get the title. So I don't know. I don't know how much the titles really matter to a lot of these boxers anyway, because what he didn't get in the title, he's certainly going to get in clout. He's certainly going to be one of the big stars that are going to be talked about. And I think that he's going to have a very bright future, and there's going to be probably some more exciting fights on the line for this kid. Haney too, but he got his number called. He did say at the end of the fight that he would let Garcia have a rematch, and Garcia appeared open to that too. So we'll see. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Haney has the power to do this. So now the records are going to go respectively. Haney's going to go to 31-1. He only had 15 knockouts coming into this fight, and boy, did it show. And then Garcia's going to go to 25-1, okay? And still keep the 20 knockouts, of course. But I can't stress enough how ready Garcia was. I mean, he looked good, man. He really hit Haney with some shots, man. That left hook was smoking. Haney was getting in some good body shots at points. There were times in the fight where Garcia was, rolling his shoulder quite a bit. And Haney was, hitting him on the left side quite a bit, almost like in the back. His corner at one point was complaining about the punches that Haney was landing, because there was like a flurry of punches. I forget what round it was. I think it might have been like 8 or 9. I don't really remember, where Haney did get in some good body shots, but it never really seemed to hurt Garcia. Also at points in this fight, there was quite a bit of hugging between the boxers. But that also was because at a lot of points in this fight, Haney was hanging on for dear life, man. Haney was hanging on for dear life. I mean, his card was really almost punched in that 7th round, man. His card was almost punched on that 7th round. I mean, he was stumbling. He was holding on for dear life. He did get a little bit of help, I felt, from the ref. When the ref deducted that point from Garcia, it gave Haney a little bit of time to rest, which was much needed. But man, oh my God, man, I was pretty off on this fight. Garcia's conditioning held. I mean, that was something that a lot of people were concerned about, was whether or not Garcia was going to be able to go the distance in this fight. And he didn't really seem to have much of a problem doing that, man. He was able to retain the power. He was able to retain the heat deep into those later championship rounds. And Haney just looked terrible. He was just terrible. It was probably definitely the worst fight of his career. I mean, he's never been beat up or manhandled like this. In fact, I think this was probably, that 7th round knockdown that Garcia got. I think it was the first time he ever got knocked down in his pro career. I'm not sure if he ever got knocked down as an amateur, but it was the first time he got knocked down in his pro career. And this is a guy who, beat Lomachenko, albeit a lot of people think that was a controversial decision that went to Haney. But, Lomachenko is no freaking slouch. At one point, he was rated as the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world. So Haney certainly had a good pedigree in terms of, opponents that he has fought. But, man, big ups for Garcia, the king. And I'm excited to see what happens next, if they're going to go straight to the rematch, or if there's going to be other big fights on the horizon for Ryan Garcia, because he can certainly bring in the pay-per-views. I'm not sure how many he's brought in on this one, but I know on the fight that he had versus Gervonta, I think it was about 1.1 million pay-per-view buys, and the kid knows how to sell a fight. I'm going to wrap this up here because I feel like I went a little bit long. Maybe one more point. I did think that, some of his antics were a bit crazy and off the wall. He certainly had me fooled. I don't know. I wonder how long he's going to run with that kind of character. But it gets people in the seats. Sold out Barclays Center. Is it Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York? Sold out crowd. Boxing legends in attendance. I saw Holyfield. I saw Mike Tyson. I think, who else? Bernard Hopkins. And maybe even Roy Jones Jr., I think, were in the crowd in attendance. So boxing legendary royalty likes to see this kid fight. And I think he's going to continue to be a rising star. Very exciting. What a left hook this kid has, and unbelievable. All right, guys. Philly Kuts. Peace.